Oh, it's King of Asgard, Odin. But why is he smiling like that? Hello, this is Ken. I like making things. I love finding affordable ways to DIY a variety of things. Money can't buy everything, except maybe figures. I love collecting figures and recreating iconic scenes. Every figure deserves to shine on my display. So every week I ask myself the same question, and answer it by creating something I'm proud of. Join my weekly adventure by subscribing to my channel. Leave your feedback and suggestions down below. I often get inspired by your comments, and I hope I can inspire you too. Last week, I made some minor adjustments to the Endgame Thor and he turned out even better. Check that video out. From the Odinson to Odin himself, here he is in all his glory. For some reason, mine's a bit hard to balance. But overall, I'm glad to have Odin in my collection. Alright, let's deconstruct this figure. Disclaimer: I'm approaching this from a visual arts perspective. My intention is not about looking for flaws. These are just toys after all. My goal is to find ways to enhance and elevate what's already there, the same way I would to my own artwork. I don't know if it's just me, but this isn't how I remember Odin from the first Thor movie. The colors on this figure seems off to me. This figure has an overall warm tone, but the Odin I saw in the movie had a cooler metallic tone to him. I want mine to be based on this look instead. Comparing the two looks, it seems like the colors are swapped on his upper body. The silver discs are gold in the movie, and the copper bits on this figure are silver. So I'm going to have to paint over most of the armor. I'll also paint over the helmet to make it a bit more metallic. I don't like the brown sleeves and pants they gave him. It's an odd color in my opinion. It doesn't seem like something the King of Asgard would wear. It looks more like fabric for regular people. If it's a shade of too darker, I think it'll make the armor pop more and make the overall figure feel more like a royalty. Speaking of royalty, that red's too bright and orange. I'm going to darken it a bit. That's my analysis. It doesn't mean this figure isn't great. I just wanted to make it even better. So, can I make it? First, I'm going to mix some black with silver to get a gunmetal color, and I'm going to cover up the copper bits on his armor. Turns out the silver I mixed doesn't exactly match the silver that's already on the figure, so I'm going to have to paint over the entire armor. Which is fine, because my silver has a cooler tone. This looks a little strange, but the silver is covering up the copper bits quite well. While it's drying, I'm gonna work on the cape. It appears that Hasbro really like using this shade of red on everything. The Endgame Thor from last week's video had the same red cape. Iron Man from the first Avengers movie was also this shade of red. I painted over it and made a Stark Tower display for it too. Check that video out. I'm going to use a wet brush to slowly darken it. Alright, the back is all done. I'm going to do the same to the front too, but mostly only at the bottom, because I don't know how to detach the cape. I'm unsure if it's glued to the armor, so I hope the transition looks natural. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now back to the armor. It's time to add the gold accents. A good fine brush is so helpful. I got myself this fine brush at the dollar store. It wasn't $1, it's a bit more pricey, but I think it's worth it. I've used it on a couple of figures, and it's still in great condition. I can do some fine details with this brush, such as painting these tiny little grooves on his armor. I'm pretty rough with my other brushes, dabbing and pushing them around on various surfaces, but I treat this brush with extra care. I don't want it to start fraying. Alright, that looks pretty metallic. Let's move on to his helmet. I just want it to be a bit more golden, so I'm going to apply the same gold paint all over it. It needs to be shiny and reflective. Okay, now it's time to fix the brown color. It's very distracting right now because it's taking away the attention from the armor. When there's a nice contrast, Our eyes tend to see the lighter objects first, so that's what I want to do with the brown color. I wanted to make it darker so it fades into the background instead of drawing attention. This would make the metallic armor pop more. Look, now the first and only thing you'll see is his upper body. Nice. Okay, time to work on the head. When I first saw the head in the product shots, I didn't know what to think of it. It looks fine, but at the same time something seems off. Maybe it's because his face is in the shape of a circle? Anyway, I'm going to start by making him a little bit more pale. His current skin tone looks a bit too sun-kissed. He has more of a pink undertone than a yellow undertone. Next, I'm going to paint his hair whiter. Okay, yes, he already has white hair. In the movie, his hair is very white. The paint on the figure is pretty good, but can be a touch whiter. The same goes for his beard. It just needs to be a tiny bit whiter. I'm not going to paint everything white. I still want the hair to have dimension, and hopefully volume. And finally, his eye patch. I don't like this color. I really like the gold one he wore in the movie. So I'm gonna make it gold too. Here's the finished head. I think the gold eye patch changed everything. He looks like Odin now. His skin tone is a bit more natural looking, and the hair suits him well. And here's Happy Odin. I actually quite like how this one turned out. He looks quite realistic. Alright, time to put everything together and have a look. Ooh, he looks great. Especially when compared to the original. I prefer this darker and cooler tone a lot more. I find it way easier on the eyes. And most of all, now his pants are not drawing the attention away from his face and upper body. What do you think? Do you like what I've done? Let's end the video with a photo shoot. Ah, look at that helmet. It looks like real gold now. I just love how metallic his armor turned out. Odin now has a godly presence again. His face actually looks pretty lifelike now too. You can see his concerned expression in his eye. Like he's judging you. Probably gonna hit you with a thunderbolt attack. Super effective. His smiling face is still a bit weird in my opinion, but it still resembles the movie version, so that's nice. Which head do you prefer? I think this one makes him a little less godlike and more approachable, but maybe that's why he's smiling. Interestingly, he doesn't look as happy with his helmet on. Now he looks angry. Uh-oh, more thunderbolt for you. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Give this video a like and subscribe to see more. Stay inspired, and I'll see you next week. I can make it, so can you.